go
Yes,
under
it's a pretty
settings,
high-end laptop,
video
but a
output
laptop.
scaled resolution, change that to 720, and then FPS, change that to 30.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so we can actually start getting
You're on
into
a laptop, aren't you?
the patch notes.
Um, yeah, try
Okay,
that again. If
so
that still gives you trouble, I have
all right,
another step where we
so
can try. We're good?
earlier, like early this morning, someone in the ABK Discord found that you could just that on the EN-Eins Perfektewelt Anastasis website, you could a little hidden. You could find the patch note. You could actually find the patch notes, even though they're not supposed to be publicly released yet. Um, so they're in Japanese, of course, and after some work on machine translating them, we have them in English. Yes. So me and Element are going to be looking over them and parsing what we can and giving our thoughts.
Kind of,
Mm.
mostly.
And so, list of adjustments for the development location test version of EN-Eins Perfektewelt Anastasis. Machine translated, so some things were not clear.
Gonna
So,
try
starts off with just
deciphering
main
the
focus of the
code
location
here to
test,
see what we
included
can
testing in
piece
battle
together
zones.
from
Makes
all of
sense.
this.
Training mode and story turned off. So yeah, I wish they kept training mode on. Yeah, yeah, yep. And then we just have like system adjustments. There's nothing that interesting here, but well, yeah. But like so volume control, which is pretty rare in
We're not gonna
RPG
see
game
any
actually.
no training mode. I mean that's
General
a bit
UI. The
strange, but
UI,
like
I actually think
whatever,
this is
right?
kind of
It's
interesting.
a
The
location
UI
test. You want
was
people to
changed
play
for
each other.
location test and will continue to be adjusted to fit with the game's concept. So the current
Well,
UI that you
Inazuma got
see in
added
like
to the game.
the few screenshots probably not permanent, which is a good thing because I think it could be better. Yes. Bug fixes. There are some minor bug fixes. I assume they remove stuff like throwing aerial opponents after a reflector and non-perfect world, which is where you burst, but then
It
it
definitely
doesn't
could
actually
be
trigger perfect world.
less looking like Inines, that's
So
for sure.
new character added: Inazuma, formerly known in the community as Robo Akatsuki, now a proper character, which is great. Um, and actually, maybe once we're done with this, we'll talk about him a little. Existing characters, there's going to be additions to appearances and effects. So we already saw Akatsuki has a new intro. Yeah.
He's got a name. Katsuki's new intro.
Yeah.
They brought it over. This is it's a really strange feeling seeing the intro for him that was made for Under
Yeah.
Night
I also hope this means
like
there's gonna be
way
less
after
effective
the
reuse because
release
there's a shit
of
ton of
ABK and
effect
N9's
reusing the same effects, just
actually
in
getting
different
that
colors.
backported into
Yeah.
his original game.
So
It's a
I
lower
think there's a bit
resolution than the
more
first time we've
noticeable in
ever seen it,
N9
which
since they
is
added more,
it's
but yeah.
interesting, but it's a very welcome addition. I appreciate that it's here.
Yep. Well, that's not changing. Yeah.
I mean, that's ABK for you. That's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
Added
KSS
operation
super just
instructions.
being
So
a
I assume this
reused
is gonna be like
animation
Asash, where
from
you
somewhere
launch and
else.
then it gives you like the
As well,
SNK
you
style
know,
instructions.
it might
I
change
assume they added
for
something like that.
Macau A in the future. I can't imagine they would. Well, I don't even know what they would reuse for her.
Yeah.
They had something. They had an instruction demo in the attract mode for Osfash. They did not have that for EN-Eins though.
And
That was another thing that got lost in the transition to Nestica. So it's good that it's
maybe
back because
do
it's a
something
very
about that.
common.
Let's see. Try talking again.
Uh, Delayed. Yeah, hello.
Because like it's coming through fine for me. I don't know what it is for chat. Um,
That is very weird. I'm not sure why it's getting delayed.
well, he has anyone in chat? Does it sound any better now? Oh, my mic is low. I do not actually know how to raise my volume on this mic. I guess I can just move it closer to my mouth.
You can do it in OBS
Yeah.
if you
Let's see.
just change your input.
See, like I don't stream much, if at all, so I'm not gonna know.
It's okay. They're saying it's synced now. I don't know what you did, but it apparently
Okay.
got it working again.
Okay. Let's see. And if I, where do I raise? Where do I raise volume higher for like the
Do you
max?
see under the audio mixer in the main panel of OBS?
Yeah.
There's the mic / aux.
Yeah.
Um, Click on Advanced Audio Properties.
Mhm.
Where the three dots
Oh
are,
yeah, I
you'll
see. I
see
can
mic
raise
aux, and then
the
you can raise the
decibels.
volume. I
Okay.
would raise it until your average voice is usually looking around in the yellow zone.
Okay. Let's see. Is this good? One. Okay. Let's try once. Is this any good? Almost. I'll just do 200. Okay. Is this better now? Um, actually, not.
Yeah, 200 on what did you change to 200?
200%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that should be okay.
Yeah. Definitely an improvement. Okay.
So yeah, where were we here? We're talking about
Ads.
the attract instruction. Yeah,
Yeah.
but now we've got
Uh,
advertisements
all
because
two of
we
them.
paid them money. Yeah, all two of them are now going in the. It should be in the attract screen too, but it says ads are now displayed in advertisements. I don't know if that's like a
Yeah.
menu setting somewhere or in the
Yeah.
credits. I don't know. We'll find out where exactly it is.
Abox says the changed UI is clear, but the colors are still bright and clashing. And yeah, I definitely agree. It's an improvement, but it's still a bit bright.
They said that they're going to change the UI, and I'm sure that's the like last thing that's really important to them.
Yeah.
So
Is there any Inazuma? We have screenshots, but we just have screenshots. That's literally it. Showing the.
yeah, there. I mean, of course, we've got the gameplay from him in the actual version of EN-Eins, where
Like the
we've packed
prototype,
him in.
but that
Um,
only can tell us so much, you know.
I imagine he's still gonna have a pretty similar moveset. He's probably still gonna have
Like we already know
the
for a
like God
fact. Yeah,
Fist.
we already know for a fact they took out his step kick, and now and his overhead changed input. But is this getting brought to Nezuka Cavs in the
It
West?
probably will be. I mean, if you have a round one near you that has access to the Nessica Live service, it should theoretically be possible for them to get access to it. I know round ones are already getting access to the current version of EN-Eins through
Yeah,
Nessica Live.
yeah,
It's currently the only legal way of playing this game over here is through round one, because I'm pretty sure they're the only arcade that officially has Nessica Live over here in the West. So
Yeah. And I'm still gonna be EN-Eins. You'll see. Yeah. Anyway, so getting to overall, I guess I probably should have translated this to universal, but yeah. Universal changes. Existing characters, hard to use techniques will be made easier to use. I definitely know what this means now. Just they're just saying that moves that were used less are gonna be buffed, and the basic stats of some characters improved. That's interesting because I didn't see anything specifically mentioning basic stats in character specific
clearly,
patch
this
notes.
means Murakumo is going to get faster.
Of course. In terms of
He's going
like,
to
yeah.
cover the entire screen space in half a second. Better
Mm-hmm.
watch out for his full screen throw.
Yeah. There are definitely some characters who had really crappy walk speeds and such for no reason. Like I think Tempelritter was the biggest offense because her.
She's usually a faster character in the air. She's got quite a few air options
Well, she
that
has
help
the
her.
biggest double jump in the game and a bunch of air options, but her walk speed was
Yeah,
the
it's
second worst in the
hard.
game.
It's really hard to play this game if your air and ground speeds are not pretty similar. Which
Yeah,
is why, like, basically every character in the game has some kind of air mobility option. You can't just have like a Street Fighter jump in this game. You're just gonna get shot.
for sure. Um, and new BGM and voices will be added. We already know Tempelritter has a new theme, and there's Inazuma is gonna have a new theme.
Inazuma's theme's already gotten previewed. At least I assume that's his theme,
Yeah,
which has been in the trailer a couple times already.
yeah, and I hope they add Valkyria's theme to the actual versus rotation.
Seems like Michael's theme is staying the same. So
Yeah. Well, they might get her a new one, but we don't know.
they in the announcement trailer that they made after the crowdfunding ended, they reused her original ABK theme.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be too disappointed if they reuse like everything
Yeah.
from her previous incarnation. If it's the same special moves, Stu will be very happy at least.
Yeah.
I almost didn't have the heart to tell him that Macau original was not going to be in this version of the game, but
Yeah.
that's just how things are.
Indeed, but it is what it is. Perfect chain. This is the auto combo or target combo system. A and B chains now do more damage. This is big because they did garbage damage in base game. They're
Basically, only useful on Soldat and Murakumo to get extra hits in before their charge moves.
same for Wei, but yeah.
Right, right.
Or actually, no, because Wei's B chain was just as long as his A chain, so no, he didn't use it. Sai did use it though, his A chain, but yeah, like there's basically no good reason to use them, and also last hits of more perfect chains now knockdown. Although that's also in character specific entries.
Right, right.
But yeah, like this is just good because it'll give you. I doubt they'll still be optimal, but like if you're just like mashing stuff out, you won't be doing like less damage than a throw, maybe.
Some of them, like Murakumo's especially, his A chain is so horribly bad. It's just like it's cool that they found a way to reuse the sword slash sprite from his level 3, but it
It's
it deals like 1.2k damage or even less, depending on scaling, and you barely get any knockdown. It's just oh no, you should never use it.
yeah.
God.
Attenuation of projectiles. This is something. So that's something new in EN-Eins, where the longer a projectile was out, the less damage it did. So basically, more travel time, less damage.
Indirect Murakumo buff again.
So they reduced this, which thank God, because this really screwed over some characters.
I imagine Anonym Guard is
She suffered the most from it, for
pretty
sure.
happy about this getting changed.
Yes, definitely. It really screwed her over for no reason. Kanzen Shinsatsu adjusted to be easier to input. I assume they just increased the input leniency.
Yeah.
Throw invincibility. This is a big one for Kanae. Throw invincibility against command throws during jump startup has been fixed. Because if you didn't know, you can be thrown out of early jump startup frames by command throws specifically. And this is relevant for no one except Kanae. Now, she couldn't just throw you, loop you, though, because she doesn't have many ways to properly tick throw, because of throw invincibility out of guard, you can still jump it if you do it right. But it was kind of fucked.
Still some tricky situations where you are put into kind of a checkmate situation against her.
Yeah.
But stuff like 6C plus on block, so you could get a tick throw off of that. But, the wake up situation, it's like, oh, you held jump, but, jump startup is 4 frames in this game, and that throw is 3 frame startup. So good luck.
Yeah, it's 4. No, it's 4, not 3.
It's 4.
Yeah.
Did they nerf it? I thought.
I'm pretty sure. Oh.
Let me double check that. Double check that.
Okay.
Because I know in Osfosh it's
subtle style make nuns
her EX throw is 3 frames.
Okay, subtle style make nuns top tier again. I don't want to get your hopes down, but I do not think Anonym Guard is gonna be top tier in this game.
It depends on the type of changes that they give for her. Yeah, I think.
I did look at everyone's changes, of course, but so I'm not too high on her. So I'll make Akatsuki top 2 again. We'll see, actually. He
Kane's command grab is 3 frame startup in EN-Eins.
Okay.
Make Akatsuki top 2 again? I hope not.
Yeah. Aerial Guard. This is where machine translation failed us the most, because we have no idea what any of this means.
Actually, let me pull up the original and drop it in chat. And anyone who believes they can decipher the code, pull the sword out of the stone, that sort of deal, you can give it your best shot.
Yeah. So as it reads, Aerial Guard has been changed to a more common way of guarding, expanding the opening for new players. I have no idea. I have no guesses about what this could possibly mean, honestly. It's no longer possible to switch guards in midair, making it impossible to escape, makes aerial guarding more risky. I spitball a few ideas, as you can see here. Maybe, because in EN-Eins you can block lows in the air, but it means you can't block highs while airborne. And, you can high-low block in the air, so I thought maybe it's removing that. But here's the original text.
If anyone knows, if anyone can decipher this, please and thank you.
Yeah, my other guess was you can't block aerial cross-ups, or if someone walks under, you can't block that. So you just get back hit, maybe.
That would be a crazy Murakumo buff, actually.
Yeah.
Your best anti-air is just walking behind them.
Yeah. But I'd be willing to bet it's neither of those. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine they would make a system change that drastic out of nowhere.
Well,
but you never know.
Yeah.
Because, Subtle Style has done interesting things before in the past.
Yep. So yeah, this is just a mystery. Visualization of Guard Crush. Characters now blink red when they're close to Guard Crush.
Surprised this didn't make a return from Osfosh, but
Yeah. That was in previous games, wasn't in EN-Eins.
It will be making a return, thankfully.
Yeah. Here's another one that was a mystery. Back attack adjustment. So back attack is when you get punished by getting hit in the back. It does 1.5 times damage.
It's crazy damage on certain hits.
Yeah, so adjusted the launch of back attacks to a lower level. So I wrote unsure of what this means here. I have a vague idea, because in N9s, when you launch someone from a counter hit or a back hit, they get put into a special launch animation that's untechable. So my thought is maybe this is going to make it so you don't get launched as high. But then the second sentence, this alleviates the loopiness of some characters, like makes me go, what? What does that mean?
I'm sure loopiness,
Like
is
loopiness is a mistranslation,
but
for sure,
it
but
doesn't help us understand what the actual word is supposed to be.
yeah,
It's a word that I've never seen before in patch note translations before.
same. So like loopy, yeah. No one knows at the moment until we get someone who actually knows.
I'm sure it's not important.
I mean, yeah, because back hits are pretty niche, but
You
yeah,
usually only get them off of like really quick moves on like running below people in the air, or certain moves like Adler's EX cutter,
mm,
where he just keeps going full screen. Lots of characters are like Fritz, especially. You'll see, like, I think his max damage punish on any hit is a 5C that back hits and counter hits Adler after he whiffs his EX cutter. And oh god, I couldn't tell you how much damage it is. I could
it's
calculate
a
it for you
lot.
though.
Well, like it does 3K, then 1.5 times. 1.
It's easily like 5,000 damage on one hit, and that doesn't even account for like guts reverse scaling.
Yeah,
So you I don't think you could kill him in one hit, but you could deal most of his HP.
yeah. So fixed a bug where it's possible to guard during landing. Fixed a bug where under certain circumstances is impossible to guard during landing. I guess this is just a minor bug fix.
I know you were talking about how air reflectors have a lot less recovery in Eins
It's not.
specifically.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what this is referring to.
No, definitely not.
Okay, okay.
Um, and I don't think the next one is either, which is action ability after air reflectors. Well, this might be it.
It
It's a little hard to tell based on the wording. But what throws me off is where certain characters, because that was universal tech.
It might be a mistranslation. It's hard to
Maybe.
tell. I think this could also refer to when you air parry projectiles, you still get to maintain all of your aerial options.
Yeah,
I
that's.
I want to say that was intentional, but
It
I
always
mean,
felt like a
Inazuma
bug.
has made some system changes that restrict air options in the past, so I wouldn't be
It's
surprised
both
to see
more
this.
and less restrictive in different directions.
If you get the hit, it's less restrictive. But if you don't get the hit, then
Yeah.
you can't do the fancy like rising JA falling any other button of your choice to cover some extra air options.
Yeah.
It's just how the game plays.
But yeah, that's the end of universal changes. So after this, we're gonna get into the character changes, starting with Akatsuki. And actually, this is a pretty interesting trend I noticed across attach notes. Is a lot of things hard knockdown now, which was really rare in base ABK, and became a little more common in N9s, but still pretty rare. But they gave a lot of characters hard knockdowns.
In Inines, of course, you've got the counter hit launchers that will cause a spinning knockdown, which is the hard knockdown. So every character had a universal way of accessing hard knockdown in certain situations, at least.
Yeah,
But
but then there are characters like N9s whose EXDP always
it
hard
just
knockdown.
causes hard knockdown. Way always gets hard knockdown. Um,
There weren't that many characters, but
in ABK, there weren't that many ways you could get access to hard knockdown, which made
it was a big
it,
advantage
it,
for
it
Wei,
made
basically.
right, yeah, it gave way a lot of like really stable Oki options, but For every other character, it turns into, a mind game. Are you going to tech on the ground? Are you not going to tech on the ground? This has um, mainly implications on like mix up timing. You can throw someone off who's trying to hit you with a meaty overhead, that sort of thing. So, getting more access to this, I think, is a good thing
Yeah.
across the board.
And like just starting with like Akatsuki's J2C, I assume this is only on air to air hit. But he already can confirm into it in base game by doing a aerial string, but there's never any reason to do it because they just tech. But this like is actually like a pretty good reason to end your combos in J2C now.
I still feel like a lot of characters might still want to route into their dash attack
Of
for
course,
the wall
well,
splat,
wall
because
splats
I mean
are
that's
basically a
still
hard
that's still
knockdown.
hard knockdown. Yeah.
Like you can tech it, but you can just hit them during the tech
You
window.
you still get a bunch of hits while they're on the wall, so you barely lose any damage.
Yeah, but it is interesting to think about. Maybe roots will change a little. Human mortar, which this is the one move I didn't do the Japanese name for some reason. Um, light version does more damage. That's just a minor change. It's not gonna. Maybe it is his preferred reversal, but I don't think that's gonna affect much.
I mean, it's a buff.
Yeah,
It's a buff for sure.
He definitely
Maybe
appreciates
it'll get people to start using that to just avoid any and all safe jumps. The amount of Akatsuki players that I play against who see me jump in on a safe jump setup and do CDP, and I always think like, hey man, if you did light DP, you would have gotten me there. But
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully this will encourage people to play the game correctly more.
Yeah. Air Denkoden, which is Air Fireball, overall buffed. Increased damage, reduced startup, and whatever changed B to be non-passive. I'm not sure what non-passive means.
Maybe it doesn't put him into recovery, so maybe he could use it like an Akuma Air Fireball.
Yeah, that sounds kind of
That
nutty.
would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
That sounds a bit nutty.
It does sound a bit nutty, but his Air Fireball is pretty useless. So
Yeah.
I mean, even then, the B version is the faster one. So if you were trying to use that as like an approach tool, it still probably wouldn't be that great.
Let's just assume it doesn't do that though.
Let's assume it doesn't. But for a brief moment, let's put some theory crafting hats on and pretend that's what it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah,
Tempelritter has an air fireball that works like an Akuma air fireball. So
I guess, but she needs it.
She does need it. Akatsuki doesn't particularly need it, but what if they want him to be good?
Yeah, but yeah, overall, just nice changes for it. Increased, you can't go wrong with increased damage to reduce startup. It's a bit of a niche tool already, so it's just cool to have. Teko Kyaku, which is Tatsu.
Everyone's favorite.
Increased ramming force of heavy Tatsu. So I'm not sure what ramming force is supposed to be in this context. Obviously, it's a translation thing. My main guess is that they increased how far it travels, but it's heavy Tatsu, so it already travels pretty damn far. So
we're not sure. It does seem to be a buff, though. So
I don't see how it could be a bad thing.
Right.
There's also the possibility it's pushback, but I don't know what that would do for him. It doesn't sound like a sensible change. So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the more important Tatsu change is the one immediately afterwards.
Yeah. Air Tatsu, increased damage and reduced startup on aerial EX Tatsu, which
we usually have to end up telling people to use grounded Tatsu as their combo confirm or not combo confirm, combo ender, because it just deals more damage for whatever reason. So maybe this will put them on equal terms with each other, and you get to do whatever the hell you want now.
Yeah, EX Tatsu already had a better knockdown. The damage difference was pretty notable. So that's just a nice change. Uh, I can't go wrong with it's definitely a buff if nothing else. Like can't go wrong with damage buffs.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
But that's about it for Akatsuki.
Yeah, just like some. These are like nice. Like he's a pretty solid character in EN-Eins. Like he's considered like a little. He was power crept a little, but he's still pretty damn good.
It's just hard to find a reason to play Akatsuki when EN-Eins was just so strong at playing just about the same game as
Yeah.
him.
Okay, and getting into Marilyn, she actually had some pretty damn big changes here. But we're starting off pretty small with standing medium, which has a bigger vertical hitbox. For those who don't know, it's kind of like her double knife jab thing.
It's probably not going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's like minor. The bigger one though is dash attack. Marilyn has by far the best dash attack in EN-Eins, where she does this flying kick. And apparently the landing recovery was cancelable, which probably made it annoyingly hard to punish, which explains a lot.
Yeah, she can't do that anymore. So
So now you can probably properly punish it like intended. But that's her spoilers. That's her only nerf. Jump down heavy. Fushi Kosotai. Now hard knockdowns. That is her aerial low. Although,
that's a pretty big change,
yeah,
I would say.
because in Osaush they removed the ability to combo off of it, so that's like a pretty nice change.
At least giving her the hard knockdown is a decent enough reward to make it a little bit more worth using.
Yeah. This is this change I don't really understand, which is the change on Heavy Rekka. First hit of Heavy Rekka now has better judgment, which means hitbox, which should mean hitbox, but because of the wording was a little weird in the translation, I wasn't 100, but it's probably just a better hitbox. And now the first hit wall bounces on hit, which is really bizarre.
I'm not a combo guy, but I can tell you any change that gives you a wall bounce on something that didn't previously is probably going to have some combo implications.
Yeah, the thing is that Heavy Rekka is really hard to combo into. Like, you basically don't in Osash onwards. So it's an interesting change, but I'm not sure if it's good.
We'll see.
Yeah, and Kasuisho, Unga Charge, EX version better at hitting opponents in the air, which is just like nice quality of life.
This is probably the biggest change here.
Yeah. Shoda Karan, her reversal. Now hard knockdowns on hit, which
So it kind of works like a Sean DP from Second Impact.
yeah, and
where
like
he would hit you up and then spike you down. Might make it worth using during combos now.
yeah, like my first thought when I saw this was like, does this mean like EX version only? But no, it doesn't specify, so I'm left to assume they mean all versions hard knockdown, that's really interesting. Like makes me wonder like, is this like her best Oki ender now? Like, is this how you end your combos now? But I guess we have to wait and see.
Could be. I think it's an issue of gravity scaling, where you might not actually be able to combo people into that last hit where you would get the hard knockdowns. This might only be notable as a just like a reversal, really.
Maybe.
We'll see how they want it to play out because we're not too sure.
Yeah,
We'd have to see it.
And Zesho Ho Renten Gyaku, which is her Kanzen Shinsatsu, adjusted for ease of use. This was one of the worst Kanzen Shinsatsus in the game. It dropped all the time. Presumably it doesn't anymore.
Pretty big changes for Marilyn. I would say they're not super impactful in normal gameplay. Most of her weaknesses and strengths still apply. Didn't really seem to patch up any major weak points that she had. Just
Like they didn't.
softening some of the nerfs that she's gotten over time, like the change on her J2C especially.
Yeah, and the rising tackle change. We just have to wait and see how impactful that actually is. So yeah.
So yeah, Kanae got shit on.
Yes. Yeah, they really fucked this character. I guess they don't want top tier grapplers.
It's fine.
Like,
It's whatever. She still like greatly benefits from the system changes in EE anyways.
yeah,
So
but I, she is definitely not top tier anymore. I'll say that. All right, let's start off with Yoroi Ozutsu, which is the palms. No longer throw invincible. I didn't even know his throw invincible in the
I
first
didn't know it
place.
was throw invul either.
Yeah,
I don't.
that doesn't.
Why would you try to throw that move? Like, oh my god.
Yeah. That's kind of irrelevant, but Zentenu Kemi, which is her role, greatly adjusted the hurt box judgment. This just means they adjusted the hurt box. No idea what direction this is going, but just going based on the rest of her changes, it's probably a nerf, but
I can't
really
imagine
hope
this is a
isn't.
buff.
Yeah. That would really suck though, because like role is already pretty matchup specific as is.
Usually just like don't use it.
Yeah. Rasen Shiho Nage fixed the difference between one player and two player command throw. I didn't know this was a thing.
It is now, or well, it isn't anymore.
Yeah, I imagine it's just like there are actually a few port priority changes in here which I didn't know about.
Very, very surprised they were actually present in a game that is as recent as 2013?
2010.
2010. Yeah, whoops, my bad.
Yeah. I don't know what the difference was, but it's not there anymore. Kokyu Nage counter reduce the damage of light counter, which is the overhead counter.
It's like, whatever.
Well, that's the one you use to anti-air and beat safe jumps, so it does matter.
It does matter, but it's still like whatever. You can still do exactly what the move is intending you to use it for, as opposed to the next nerf here.
This is a fat nerf. Remove the invincibility from anti-air command from light and medium anti-air command throw.
Not from heavy, but still.
Yeah, heavy tends to whiff on close opponents anyways, so
The one of the things I'm more concerned about is the adjusted trajectory and the post fall positions.
yeah, that's another
that
thing.
might hurt a lot of her mid screen setups.
Maybe. I mean, what I'd be more worried about is because normally what you end up doing is heavy on wake up anyways because it gets you out of the corner. So I guess it's not as big a deal, but definitely hurts with anti-airing with these versions.
There are still setups using 22B, especially like 22B whiff, where you're able to set up a cross up JB. Pretty sure that's still an EN-Eins. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. You would just use your command grab, and then you would whiff 22B and get a stronger mid screen Oki setup at the expense of damage, of course. If they remove that, they're kind of pigeonholing her into doing some very specific Oki setups, or spending the meter on the EX version of her 2-2 special.
I'm glad they didn't change that
corner carry. Oh yeah, no, you can't change that. You would gut the entire character.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I don't get corner carry anymore.
No, it's more like they reduced the knockdown on EX version. Because in EN-Eins in EN-Eins you get a real safe jump off EX version.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be in the game.
Well, she got to keep it.
No.
But
we'll see.
Next version is the biggest nerf in my opinion. which is Jigoku Guruma. For those who don't know, in N9, she got an air-to-air command throw, and it is fucking OD.
I didn't know this.
Okay, so I guess I'll give a quick summary then. So she has an air-to-air command throw. There's one version. It completely halts her air momentum, so you can use it to mix up your air approach. It has a big hitbox. It leads to a full juggle on hit.
We're talking palm loops?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's really good in the corner. It's really hard to punish, even on reaction, because it doesn't have a lot of landing. It does have some extra landing recovery, but not much. So it was just this really OD move that she had. Now differentiated between versions, the EX version is similar to performance to the old version. So basically, she now has to spend a bar to use the old version. So I guess
probably not that great anymore.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see like what the differences between the versions is. Like, is it bigger hitbox? Does it change how much she stalls? But I assume you just don't get a combo off the regular versions anymore.
Sure hope not. That sounds really strong.
Yeah.
Level 3, just a damage nerf for some reason.
I mean, it does a shit ton of damage. So
it does deal a lot of damage.
Like,
and it's even easier to build bar in Eins, so...
Like, it's not a big deal, though. Like...
it's whatever.
Tango Yasha...
This next change on her Kanzen Shinsatsu...
Yeah.
I forgot, in N9, she actually has a way to deal chip damage in that. Same with Fritz, outside of his level 3.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Kanae. You can now deal chip damage.
Just don't get reflected on reaction.
Don't get reflected on the super flash, and just make them block it somehow on a character that can't do that.
Oops. But yeah. They does more chip damage. That's really irrelevant because you reflector it on reaction, but...
If they do block it, hey... You get some extra chip damage as a reward. It's a good job.
Kanae overall, some pretty nerfed, honestly. I think, like, she got hit both by the fixing of some bugs and by straight up nerfs. And it's like, I guess we don't want a grappler's top tier.
Fair.
Yeah. Like, that is very fair. She is pretty absurd in base N9s. But, you know, like, I'm still a little sad to see it because I thought because it was funny to have a top tier grappler.
Yeah, we got Fritz up next.
Fritz got he got some nice
he got buffs, and one change that is probably going to end up being a buff just because the move that it replaces is really bad.
Yeah.
But to start off, we've got his auto combo now knocks down.
Yeah.
Sure hope you weren't using this, but sometimes you gotta, because the only hit that you can get off of some Abare sequences is just the close 5A. So
this is it's actually a very nice change because his Abare is incredibly unrewarding. So this means he actually can gets knocked down. Yeah, which is great.
Good job, Fritz. You can now get knocked down off of your light normals, something that every other character has been able to do for the past 15 years.
Mm-hmm. And then his medium close auto combo, second hit. They reduce the startup when guarding, which I don't know what this means.
I don't know.
Comes out faster on block.
I don't know.
It's probably just a quality of life change, I suspect. But who knows? Close 5C, increased damage, which is kind of reverting in Offsash nerf, where close 5C did less damage in Offsash compared
No one's going to use the move still.
Yeah. It's yeah.
It's not actually going to change that much, but close 2C is the change to
a normal striking technique, which I assume is in line with close 2A and close 2B. We don't know what this
We're not
is.
sure what this means.
It presumably means it's a new move, which would be awesome.
Or it could just be a low. I don't know.
It would be, yeah, he would kill for a good close range low. Like
He
2B
needs
is
it
fine,
because
but like
2B
2B is more a pressure tool than like your actual like low
is it a
mix-up.
low in N-Eins?
Yeah, close 2B
Huh.
is a low. Yeah. It's just like it's not far 2C.
Yeah. Yeah, that move's
Um,
pretty good.
yeah, but like if this is like a close range low that does good damage, that is a big buff. Or rather a big quality of life change. No, it just is a buff because now he doesn't have to sacrifice like positioning to get his high damage low mix up.
Right.
But it might not be. It could just be another shitty normal. So
Another horrible normal.
yeah.
Well, close normal at least.
So yeah, we just don't know.
His only good command normal off of his C buttons, 4C, now deals more chip damage. So good job. Pat yourself on the back for that one.
Mm-hmm. Like that's nice because he doesn't have many ways to do chip in N-Eins.
And his Kanzen Shisatsu is now easier to combo into, which is not something I was even aware he could do in the first place.
I'm assuming this means he can get it off like a raw 2A instead of having to juggle into it.
No.
Wow.
A rod? No. Come on.
Okay.
What is this, third strike? No, don't get too ahead of yourself.
Okay, but they did
Fritz
something.
with combos, he could never.
They did something to make it easier to combo into anyway.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for Fritz. Just some quality of life. The biggest biggest change is the close 5A change because now he gets knocked down off of Bari. But close 2C could potentially be bigger. We have to wait and see.
Some good quality of life buffs that put him closer on par with the rest of the cast. Because going from Osvash to EN-Eins, Fritz kind of he didn't get nerfed, but he did.
He did get nerfed, but
he did. Oh, my bad.
They removed chip damage from most of his sword normals, and they also that was basically it. But then they also got power crept.
Right, basically, like everyone got buffs for the most part.
Yeah. But yeah,
moving
on. Sai. This was the most shocking for me because Sai is debatably the best character in base N-Eins.
It's, I'd say it's Sai pretty cleanly. N-Eins is a close second, but I don't think N-Eins is better than Sai in this game.
But yeah, just like getting into it, like his medium perfect chain. His perfect chain 2 is he does his jumping medium animation. So the hurt box is reduced, so I guess it properly low profiles now the way it looks, and it now knocks down. You're still not going to use it because they didn't nerf his heavy chain, but it's if you mash it out, you now get something. Back heavy Hokuto Hisei Kekken, which is back punch, has a better lower hitbox, won't whiff on certain characters anymore. This is a really annoying problem he has against like Anonym and a couple other characters where it will whiff on them sometimes. So now it won't whiff, so he doesn't have to worry about getting screwed over by his own string. Sokushu Hokudai, which is flip kick. The EX hitbox is a bit bigger to better hit aerial opponents. Aerial flip kick.
What is the most unnecessary change?
I forgot to specify here is for EX version specifically. I screwed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
Okay, EX version specifically is faster startup and has a bigger hitbox.
Not the normal version. The normal version is fast enough.
Yes. And so these are all quality of life. This is the only meaningful change. Jiashi. Adjusted so that it cannot be stacked. Basically, you can't apply it while the opponent is already afflicted. That is big because that is how he screws you over in the corner in EN-Eins. He gets you in the corner, wall splats, and now you have to now he gets to loop Jiashi on you. And because meter build is so fast in EN-Eins, he's going to build, like, if he has like 3 bars when he gets you in the corner, you're going to get hit by, you're going to die before he runs out of bar to hit you with Jiashis if you just get hit repeatedly.
You could probably build another couple bars during the combos.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
So this is big because I assume this means, like, if he does like EX on you, now doing another EX, either it doesn't hit or it doesn't reset the timer. Either way, that's going to make it a lot harder for him to loop it, but he probably still will be able to, just because you see when it runs out and now you reapply. So it's definitely a nerf, but I don't think it's particularly impactful.
It doesn't really change how he plays the game.
Yeah, like I really think I am a Psy player. I love this dude. I think they should have nerfed him more. Like, and obviously this is just the first location test. They said that they're going to adjust the battle balance more after this, but he should have probably been nerfed more.
Well, there's plenty of side players out there, and I'm sure at least one of them's going to be at the location tests.
Yeah.
To show everybody that hey, this character's still broken and might possibly be undisputed top tier, as we'll see from EN-Eins' changes.
Yeah. Okay, gang it. This is my favorite change list for Dewey.
Dewey.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
No,
it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's jack shit. He gets nothing.
Yeah. I guess like he's been a solid high tier in every game.
They love him.
Yeah, he's the perfectly balanced character, I guess.
We found him. And now if you have any questions about whether or not you can make a perfectly balanced fighting game character, you can point at Wei for being the most unchanged character over the course of the past decade.
Yeah, like they literally the only change he's had that wasn't system what has been, like, he got a charged, he's able to charge his stand heavy, and his timer is 1 second shorter than vanilla. Actually, no, vanilla early vanilla he got a bunch of balance changes because he's stupid, but since the final patch vanilla, he has been largely unchanged, and this is continuing that trend quite literally. So.
Every Wei player can now breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah. Elektrosoldat.
Am I interrupting something?
Oh, we're
doing a patch note analysis.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Don't worry about it. We're like, yeah.
Are you guys streaming or something?
Yes.
Yeah. We're on Movie Doors channel.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll pop out.
All right. Okay, Elektrosoldat. Nothing. He actually got some nice changes here, but medium perfect chain second hit, which is important because his medium chain has 4 hits.
Very important for him.
Has a better upwards hitbox. I assume they just made it more consistent on juggles because it did sometimes have that issue. But
the 2B perfect chain though is what I'm a little bit more concerned about.
Basically, that means the final hit of his medium chain, which means it now knocks down and has reduced startup. That's actually pretty nice.
So it's not the second hit of his auto combo, it's the final hit.
It's the final hit, because if you do 2B twice, it automatically goes to the final hit.
Right.
But this might mean that the standing version keeps them standing. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I know he makes good use of this during his combos to get some extra damage out. So
So if the second, but like that is a nice change because it's Soldat, so he's always happy to take a knockdown while keeping charge.
he needs the damage buff,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this is actually, I think this is interesting because like most characters, they don't care about like getting a knockdown because we're still not going to use it unless it actually does comparable damage. This actually matters for him because this means he can hold down back while getting a knockdown, which he couldn't. He's never really. Well, he could do it before, but like,
You
well,
had to give up damage.
yeah, and like to combo to 60, you had to know that you had to drop charge, which you can't always do on reaction.
Yeah, you're a charge character. Like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
yeah,
Otherwise, you would. As far as because in the vanilla there was an option select for it, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
yeah. You could do 6 ABC.
Right, and it would always prioritize 6C over the fireball. That's something that they changed in
Also,
Oshkosh.
yeah. So that's actually a pretty nice change overall. Like he hasn't been able to do that in a while.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you, Soldat.
sweep, which is the classic Guile sweep, has a better upwards hitbox. I guess we're doing anti-air sweeps now.
It's not
And
going to make that much of a difference, I
yeah,
don't
and
think.
reduce the startup of both hits.
Or well, you know what? Depending on what the hell that air blocking changes, maybe it does make a
Yeah,
difference. We'll see.
but yeah, like I guess like Settle was watching Daigo's Guile and is like, you know what? I want people to do more whiff punish sweeps with Soldat.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's a
Fireball
nice
changes
change
though.
for sure.
Fireball changes might be pretty significant here as
Medium
far
and
as the B
EX,
version goes.
yeah, medium and EX have less startup, which is very nice. I think this is gonna matter more for EX, because that might actually affect how he makes his reversal save setup.
Right, because you can parry it, and up close, you're still able to get a punish on him. So
Yeah,
it doesn't actually work for him that
yeah.
well.
So I'm wondering if like, is this gonna make the true block string range bigger? Medium, I suspect this is actually a nerf. Because medium is the only one you can get extensions off in the corner in EN-Eins. So I'm wondering like, if they didn't reduce the total frames to accommodate it, which they might have because he never talked about total frames in this. So maybe they did, but maybe they didn't. So I'm wondering maybe this is like to get rid of those combos. Otherwise, that's appreciated in neutral. Like you can't go wrong with less startup on your fireball. So I'd say that's overall a buff at the very least.
The other change, I don't know, is apparently the port difference on his level 3. I don't know.
Yeah, and reduce the startup between. I should just translate that between hitboxes. That makes it more consistent, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the difference is on
It's more
each
consistent,
port, but
I assume.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So,
Or maybe we won't. No one will notice.
yeah, so that I think the 2B perfect change is really interesting, and the other two buffs are like just well appreciated. Have to see how impactful they are though. Otherwise, quality of life. So yeah, these are some nice changes, but it's nothing like mind blowing. And he was fine, but he's another character in EN-Eins that was fine, but just got power crept. So we have to see if this is like enough to deal with the power creep, but I suspect it isn't. We'll see. And now
Adler changes. Adler gets almost nothing.
Yes.
He doesn't get nothing though.
That's fine. I think he's in a good spot in EN-Eins, and he doesn't need much changing. Blitzbomb light version adjusted the occurrence to be slower. I think that means the projectile appears later, but I don't really know because it's not worded like any of the other startup changes. So, yeah, that's whatever. But the aerial Blitzkugel change is actually pretty nice because historically you never use this move.
It's just, why would you?
Yeah,
It's so bad.
yeah. But changed all versions. I wasn't. The wording was a little strange, so I wasn't 100 on it. But I think they changed every version to knockdown, which obviously the grounded version doesn't do, and that's actually pretty cool. But I don't know if that's gonna be enough to make you actually want to use it. Like maybe,
It's also just another move that you don't ever use in
yeah.
practice. You'll see it every once in a while as like a gimmick way to stall your air momentum, but
Also, like
I don't
TK Light
know.
Fireball goes farther than grounded Light Fireball, but
It's
like that's
still
so
like if you're
niche.
zoning as Adler, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You need
um,
to pick a different
they
character.
also fixed a bug. They did not specify what the bug was
No,
though.
we don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you.
Fixed a bug. Type Lumina ass
Good
change
job.
list.
Good job. They
Yeah.
fixed it.
Yeah. So Adler, same place. He's probably still a good high tier, which is great because Adler being good is actually cool. Um, so yeah, Murakumo.
Murakumo is up next.
Um,
I had some time to think about his first change here
mhm.
on his auto combo, which historically he would never use because it's just really bad when he has access to really good meterless Oki off of 2C and a really good way to spend meter mid screen by using the new auto combo changes on 2B to get your charges more easily. So you would never use this A auto combo because why would you? Now it's side switches. So what I imagine this would do is it would probably just teleport him on the other side, and he would hit you after that. I want to know if this is going to be another weird knowledge check. If you actually have to switch your block,
Oh,
or like, cause like just imagine if you could threaten a 50-50 left right off of a light normal. That
oh,
would be
it
crazy.
would
I
do no
imagine
damage
there's
though.
I know, but it's the availability of the mix up that's strong, especially considering it now mentions that the knockdown is stronger. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know. There's probably going to be some kind of cross up protection because like that's absurd. And then also it's N-Eins, so
you can just let go.
you can just neutral block um, by letting go of your stick. So it's probably a buff, but we'll see just how extensive it is because not too sure what it would be without actually seeing it in practice. The next change here, he gets a new move.
Yeah.
Is he the first character so far that gets a? Oh, no, Fritz. Fritz gets
Fritz.
a new normal, but this
Yeah.
one, this is like an entirely new follow up that didn't exist before.
So
Murakumo's C normals don't actually follow the same auto combo standard as the rest of the characters in Eins. He cannot do 5C into 5C like just about everyone else can. Now he can, which is interesting because his C normals also don't work like anyone else's in the game. So this is his standing overhead. It's pretty slow, very reactable, but it crosses up and is plus on block and hits more often than I would like it to. The problem is you can't combo off of this move unless you hit it really deep. So it's basically restricted to very specific spacings or Oki setups. Very rare to get a just like a raw hit off of this and be able to hit confirm it. Now he has a follow up after it, and my crackpot theory is that this is going to be his upkick, his light upkick specifically. I'll get into that more in the next change, but regardless, I imagine this is probably going to be some way for him to get some extra reward off of this hit, more than just being +1 on hit or block. And if you're able to hit confirm this, you'll be able to get a knockdown. Hopefully, we'll see. Regardless, this is a pretty substantial change to his game plan because you don't usually use this move all too much. It's all right as a call out to someone that's mashing like a sweep or a parry or something like that, but we'll see what this actually ends up doing. Those are his two, I would say, most important changes, but the next one, which is on the upkick that I previously mentioned, no chip damage, which is why I think that's going to be his new 5cc, because now they want it to count as a normal, so it won't deal any chip damage.
Maybe.
Changing it to be non-passive, no clue what that means.
You still don't, like, Akatsuki had it too on medium fireball.
If I want to be consistent here, then I have to say that this means that he's going to be actionable in the air after he does this, which would be he would be a menace. He would be absolutely absurd if he could do something like that.
Yeah, that would.
It would just be like a command short hop, and you couldn't really do anything about it, but. That'd be really crazy if he could do something like that, but just imagine for 1 second. And 1 second's over, we don't have to imagine it anymore. Next change is on his mine. This is another pretty substantial change for his Oki gameplay. A change that they made going between vanilla and Osvash is that his mines outside of the EX mines will all immediately disappear if he gets hit. That includes if he manually detonates it and the explosion is right about to go off. If he gets hit, mine's gone. Now they have somewhat reverted that change.
Not exactly. It's a little more
they didn't
now.
completely revert it, but now if he manually detonates the mine, it will go off no matter what. So manual detonations on Oki setups are now a lot stronger, because now he gets kind of the same level of insurance that he used to have in vanilla.
Like, you just can't fuck with it.
You can't do anything with it. If you try to reversal, you'll just get hit. If you try to jump out, you'll just get hit. If you hit him, you'll get hit. So he gets favorable trades off of it again, but that means you have to save the manual detonation. You cannot let it activate on its own.
And then there's a bit more of a minor change. They extended the amount of time it takes for it to naturally disappear.
It's not going to make that much of a difference, but it's still, I don't know, it could.
And
we'll see.
Also, looks like Kashkabald has joined us.
Yeah, I was just enjoying seeing Elvin gush about the Murakumo changes. But hey, everyone, hi! We're just here, just got in from a tournament, got home now.
Nice.
Super late, but yeah, I just just a quick recap because I missed a bunch. How are you feeling? The changes until now, actually. How are you feeling? I skimmed them.
Fairly minor overall, which I think is good.
But yeah, I saw most characters don't really have a lot of changes. So, but yeah,
I think that's good. I think EN-Eins was already in a pretty good state.
Yeah.
As far as the meta goes, I mean, I would tune into arcade streams and you'd see someone hop on with a different character every time.
Yeah.
And people are playing Murakumo, so
the only character I never really saw anyone play in EN-Eins streams was always Anonym because she's kind of shit in EN-Eins. So yeah, I guess we'll go back there. I think you already went past her now.
No, she's at the very end.
She's at the very end. Oh, perfect. We can talk about it later then.
Yeah, so
can keep going then.
Yeah, like just quickly give overall thoughts on Murakumo's changes. He got buffed for no good reason.
Good.
Like
They clearly saw me struggle in tournament in a game that wasn't N-Eins.
It's funny because Murakumo's super popular in N-Eins too.
He is very popular. Like most of the arcades that I've seen will have like a Murakumo pull up in basically every single VOD that I've seen.
Yes.
The only way they could have buffed him in any real form is if they gave him some better colors.
But yeah, they're nice changes for Murakumo, and definitely in a good spot. Perfecti.
Definitely in a better spot.
Top high tier zoner.
Somehow.
Yeah. So she got some minor changes here. EX. Well, I don't even what. It's kind of like an up kick, but like with a sword. So
it's I would just call it like a DP.
Yeah. But yeah, Flak Short, her DP now changes position during EX DP. I have no idea what this means, because it doesn't specify that side switches like with other moves.
I don't know. Could give her more distance on the opponent afterwards to go back into zoning. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what this means until we see it.
Perfecti was already pretty good. I don't mind if they don't give her too many.
Yeah, she was already pretty good in the nines. She got it in a really good spot in the nines. So
yeah, she's well balanced. Then Gallerhorn, which is her level 3, adjusted to make it easier to apply. So I think I don't know what they did, but this sounds like they changed it so there's more confirms into it.
The move is just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you can use it, you should not, because
she does.
You kind of want to use meter on anything else.
EX Fire, like, she does boatloads of damage with 1 or 2 bars in N-Eins. So
right, because you have access to the D button, so you can just you've got another button to charge your like mega laser.
No.
Yeah, I think like just the thing is, I think this super is just bad in design. That's the thing. You can't really like polish this turd.
It's pretty cool.
Basically,
yeah,
it's cool, but it's just really bad.
It looks cool. That's about it.
Yeah.
Fixed the bug where characters were misaligned. I assume just like sometimes when you stabbed them, they looked funky.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They're still not going to use this move.
I think I've seen that. I think I know what. I think there's a VOD. I think there was a VOD with some like. I think it was against an Adler player, and just it was a really weird interaction. I think what they meant. But yeah, no one's gonna use this move anyway.
Add new ways to confirm into this. You can't hit confirm your flash kick into it, can you?
No.
Maybe you can now.
Maybe, or
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
Or
think
maybe
of
that's
anything
what
else that you would
maybe
add.
that is what they added, because that makes sense.
If so, it would still be like you wouldn't use it, but it would at least be useful sometimes.
I mean, if you just want to kill in F3 bars, might as well just press BBC and go for it.
Blitztank is still in this game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfecti unchanged. Yeah. Blitztank. You got some nice changes, but I don't. Well, anyways, yeah. Aerial Reflector is now a hard knockdown. This should have been how it was since vanilla. Frankly, because his Aerial Reflector has always just been a knockdown, straight into Oki, but you could tech it. So, yeah, hard knockdown. That means he actually gets to enforce his projectile Oki off of Air Reflector now, which is great. So like that's just nice. It should have always worked that way, but it's good. Light chain 4th hit startup reduction. That's probably just like quality of life change. I don't expect that to be meaningful. And then the medium chain 2nd hit. This medium chain only has 2 hits, so this one is where he just does his dash attack. Startup reduction, I assume that's more quality of life. Maybe it's easier to hit confirm now. And then they fixed a weird-ass bug that I do not understand, but it probably does not matter. And then getting into crouching heavy, it is a hard knockdown. That is great because now you actually have a reason to use that move.
Good job.
And that I actually think that's pretty good because it means now because you rarely take his overhead on reaction, and now that means he can assure Oki from a low too. So that's actually like pretty nice for him. Like he might actually be able to loop his set play now, which is actually pretty unique in ABK.
It's basically only
only
Murakumo.
Sai kinda.
As far as like projectile Oki
Yeah,
goes,
projectile Oki, like it's
projectile
kinda just
Oki. It's
Murakumo.
like just Murakumo, Perfecti, but like that's only in the corner. Good luck.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, like
Adler, but you know you can parry his stuff very easily. So
well, that he plays around the parry, but
yeah.
So that's a neat. I'm interested to see how that works out in practice. Jump heavy, you can now hold the button to change the fall timing. So that sounds really cool, but entirely like a knowledge check.
So I think it's gonna be pretty useless.
Well, like, because what it does is it means you can't just parry it on reaction now, but you can still air throw it on reaction.
Yeah, if you see
But that
it come
is harder.
out,
That is harder to do, admittedly. But like, especially if like, because you could like whiff a button then reflector it. You can't whiff a button then air throw it, so it'll help in like niche situations like that, I guess.
I still wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't jump as Blitztank.
You have to sometimes though. Like it's how you anti-air.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. So that's a cool change, but I don't think it's that good. Laser Electro-Ouch. Adjusted EX laser so it can be comboed into from crouching light and changed to not passive, whatever that means.
We're third strike now.
Yeah.
We got super combos off of lights. Good job, Blitztank. You've now advanced to the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You're no longer a Dino Rex character.
Amazing. Yeah, that's just nice, but like I really want to know what passive means in this context. I'm
gonna see if I can get a hold of one of my friends to translate the ones that say like not passive specifically, because I have to know if Murakumo is just going to be a menace.
I just suspect it's a recovery change, but like
I hope so.
Yeah.
For your sake and mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to deal with Akatsuki who's able to throw out air fireballs like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's just quality of life mainly. Then Entladung, this is actually a huge change.
This is a pretty big change.
Increase the invincibility of EX Entladung. So Entladung's kind of like his
plus.
Yeah. It's kind of like his EX Entladung has always been his reversal, but it hasn't ever been fully invincible. It would trade. Yeah, it's always had like 1 or 2 frames of vulnerability. I assume this means it doesn't have that anymore, which is insane because this is already one of the best reversals in the game because it's incredibly hard to parry on reaction even. Because you have to know the number of hits, and then you have to know how to punish Blitztank. And it was plus on block if you blocked it, and if it traded, he got a combo. It was silly. So I guess this removes the trade combos.
But it's now a better reversal.
Yeah.
This move is plus. Don't forget, this move is plus.
Yeah. So
this is literally a plus on block reversal.
Yeah, that's possibly the best change he got here. That's just very nice. He's already a defensive wall. This is gonna help with that.
And apparently Gellerhorn had port differences. Yes. So that's not there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so Blitztank overall.
Good job, Blitztank.
He got some interesting buffs. I'd like to see how they work out. And some of these are legitimately impactful, but I just don't think they're enough. Like it's Blitztank. Like you'd have to do a lot to make this character like actually on the level of the rest of the cast.
There's only one man I know that's up for the job.
Yeah.
It's nameless. He can do it.
Yeah.
He's been working with the character the entire time. I'm sure he's. I don't know if he's seen these patch notes,
He
but
definitely hasn't.
Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm glad he got buffed at all because he's been nerfed in every other version. That's funny to think about. This is the first time Blitztank has been buffed.
Happy birthday, Blitztank! You finally got your first buff in 15 years.
15.
Congrats.
Yeah. All right, Kati time. I'm sad about this.
I'm not. Fuck this character.
Dashes. It turns out that Kati and EN-Eins can dash block, so you can't punish her dashes. That was a bug.
That was a bug they did not find.
That was possibly the most meta impactful bug in the game, besides Kanae.
You know, I have to give him like knowing how the game like even happened. I have to give him a bit of a break on that because the game was basically rushed up.
Jumped up 2 tiers because of a bug.
Yeah,
jumped up like 1 tier, but yeah.
Okay, I'm exaggerating a little for effect.
Yeah. But yeah, she could dash block. It was absurd because you can dash block in a 2D footsies fighter. No one else can do that.
Murakumo, arguably, but you know.
Yeah, that's just like that's
what he does.
That's
what he does. Yeah.
And then it's like yeah, like they fixed the bug. Now she's not busted for no good reason. She still has her other, but that was her only nerf.
She still has safe on or plus on block DP, and it's still generally annoying.
Yeah,
but
still has some of the best buttons in the game. But yeah, other changes: sweep, increase damage, speed, and reduce startup. So I assume by speed they just mean like the travel distance, because it like switch. So this is just nice because it wasn't very useful. So now you might use it sometimes. You probably still won't because her crouching medium is one of the best buttons in the game, but it exists. Seisai Morgenstern, which is her power pole, greatly increased upwards hitbox. This is definitely just combo consistency. Like it's possible. I don't think you're using this for anti-airs. But
the next change here, I would argue, is actually a decently substantial nerf.
No, because you don't use this move actually.
This is
no, this is the standing big spin.
Yeah,
it has.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah, so Bakuso Carousel is kind of like a Tatsu where she spins with her hammer. The EX version standing now side swaps. I'd say that's actually this is like.
Oh, okay. So not the aerial version.
Yeah,
the
not
aerial
the
version
one of the
is what I
best
was
moves in the game.
thinking of. Yeah.
No. So this is like really niche because she already had side switch combos, with 1 bar. So like if this does more damage than her current side swap combos, then it's definitely useful. Otherwise, and maybe now it is invincible, so maybe when you use it as a reversal now, like you can use it to steal the corner. But it does seem a bit niche because it was already a niche move because you just use it as a combo ender when you need a kill. Otherwise, it's quite frankly useless. So this gives it something to do, which is nice. But yeah, Kati, one big nerf and some mediocre buffs. So I guess that makes her the second most nerfed character, but like it's like, she's probably still high tier. Like It's just
I
she doesn't get to break the rules anymore.
she doesn't get to be high tier for no reason anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I's got a
N-Eins.
similar
Yeah.
change
N-Eins.
right
Oh
off the
boy.
bat.
Oh boy.
The only character to have a throw changed because for some reason his throw dealt 500 more damage than every other character in the game.
Yep.
Couldn't tell you
Probably
why.
it, I want to say is a
He
mistake,
did.
but like
He did.
There's no way they wouldn't have caught that though.
yeah. Like it probably
Hello?
just does average damage now, I hope.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's just 2,000.
Yeah.
Like everyone
Yeah.
else.
And this is the biggest change though. 2B. This was easily the best button in base N-Eins.
This is the only official hitbox in this game that we've ever seen.
Yeah. And
We know why this move is busted.
yeah, like because it low profiles basically everything while having enormous range and being near impossible to counterpoke. So they greatly adjusted the hurt box. This could mean one, two, or three things. One, they made it so it's not a low profile. Two, they made it so you can counterpoke it easier. Three, both. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was both.
Hope it's both.
Yeah. Yeah, this button was just frankly absurd. It definitely deserved the nerf. I do think there were other buttons in base N-Eins that probably could have been nerfed, but
You know, some Katie
this was the
buttons.
most infamous one. So, but it's still gonna be good probably just because it's a big low button that he has a safe buffer into. But like it's now you can actually like punish him when he whiffs it. So, yeah. Sweep now hard knockdown. I guess that gives him a hard knock. Or no, he does have meterless hard knockdown combos. Excuse me. I guess it does give him a reason to use it because its range is barely better than crouching medium, and it didn't low profile any better. So I guess it's something to use it for.
I don't know.
It's just a bit of it's not a major change. Teleport upper, which is he teleports behind you, does nothing personal, kid, punches you into the sky. Remove the cross up. I don't know why they did this, because the move already sucked. I guess because when I first saw the remove cross, they're like, oh, did they decrease the startup to make up for it? But no, they just remove the cross up and increase the damage and adjusted launch, whatever that means. So I'm gonna have to see what adjusted launch means, because in base game it launches them like sky high. You get whatever you want. This could mean either they made it a lower launch or they just made it who knows, honestly. Damage increase, whatever. This move was basically just a knowledge check in the first place, so it's not like this really matters. But I mean, like, I don't know why they nerfed it. It didn't really deserve it. Like,
I don't know. Just
I honestly
throw
thought
the entire character.
yeah,
out
like
at
when I
this
saw
point.
when I saw in the patch notes, I thought they were gonna buff it because you never used it. And they said they're gonna buff moves that you don't really use. So, but oh well. EN Levitator, which is his DP, fixed a bug in the follow-up attack. So they don't specify which follow-up attack, but my suspicion is they changed it so that the medium follow-up doesn't teleport to the opponent's position perfectly anymore, and now works more like the light where he just kicks in place. Which would that's gonna make it so he can't. He'd probably still get the side switch, but he doesn't get as much damage from it anymore. Maybe, like, it's hard to say, and maybe it's just an actual bug and they didn't remove that, but I don't really know. But the much bigger change here is reduced damage of EXDP. because that is his main combo ender. So that's a big fucking deal.
Good.
Yeah.
He deals absurd damage off of any touch, so good. Glad to see a nerf come out.
Yeah. And maybe in exchange for EN Pyrokinesis, his Fireball, they increase the damage of EX Fireball.
Not that you would ever use this.
You do use it actually for 2-bar combos.
Oh, right.
Because it wall bounces.
Yeah, you
It's
do
just-
that into the EXDP.
Yeah. So that's gonna make those more damaging, but it's hard to it's a lot harder to confirm into. So it's just like this is more like now I do more damage when I do get this. So it's like I guess it's nice. It's just like not the biggest deal. The next one I'm pretty interested in, which is EN Teleport Raider, his Rekka series. The heavy version has a smaller hurt box. And for those who don't know, the heavy version is kind of like this Greed Sever-esque jumping overhead that's pretty easy to see. So I'm thinking, okay, they're trying to make this actual Greed Sever, where like maybe it's gonna go over a bunch of stuff.
It's still pretty slow.
Yeah, that's like issue, and it's not as rewarding, relatively speaking, to like an actual Kai Greed Sever.
Right.
Like you get a nice combo, but it's not anything like huge. It's just like as much as he does from a normal confirm.
What's the frame data on that move? Let me
It's
pull it
pretty
up real
damn
quick.
slow.
I need to see like exactly how slow it is though.
Yeah, like I thought they'd change the startup to be faster, maybe. Like make his high-low a little more threatening.
Let's see.
Yeah.
What are we looking at again?
214C.
214C. 20 frames. Well, okay, but that's the first active frame.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't actually hit crouchers until like
It's more like 22 or
much
23.
later.
It's not that much later, but the issue is more the animation is pretty damn obvious. Like there's a lot of
He literally like leaves the ground.
Yeah, like
So
it'll catch you the first few times, but the animation is pretty recognizable. But all right, EN Leva Slasher, which is a pretty you never use this move in base. Extended the invincibility of aerial of EX version. I guess maybe you can use it as an anti-air now. I'm not really sure.
this is this weird like EX air fireball thing.
It's not a fireball. It's not even remotely close to a fireball. Is the thing.
It's kind of.
See, and greatly adjusted the hitbox upwards. I suspect that's so because you used to be able to do like on OTG DP into EX Slasher for a shit ton of OTG damage. I suspect they adjusted the hitbox so that you can't do that anymore, and maybe it's more consistent on aerial opponents.
I don't know. I wouldn't spend meter on it still.
Yeah, like it is always a niche tool. It's still a niche tool. But yeah, EN-Eins definitely got the brunt of nerfs here. Maybe not top tier anymore. But I still bet he's going to be pretty damn good, though, because he still has, like, 2B light Rekka on block, which is going to give you a combo on hit. So it's like, he's still going to be able to do the things he likes to do, but they're weaker. And especially now that his mix-up is not for better than everyone else's for no reason.
I mean, I think if you compare these changes to the changes that Akatsuki got, you might have much more of a reason to start picking Akatsuki if you just want to play like a very simple game.
Yeah, like especially Akatsuki already did more damage than EN-Eins, but now he's gonna do like significantly more.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, like they're gonna be doing their own niches. Like EN-Eins is more of the neutral control Shoto, while Akatsuki's more of the big damage mix-up Shoto. Like they can have their own niches now. But yeah, I think these were good changes though.
Overall, yeah.
Tempelritter. Oh, the first change already was like enough to be like, wow, they made this character function.
They made this character bad on purpose initially. There's no way.
So Reflector, those who don't know, besides her air reflector, Tempelritter's reflectors would launch the opponent away, and you could not get a combo afterwards. And it actually it wall splatted in corner, but it was still significantly less damage than anyone else gets off their reflector. So now you have real reflectors now. Rejoice, you now function. You're Anastasis, but you can now
Congratulations,
push block.
you're a real girl.
Yes. But even so, she still had a bunch of issues even besides that. But as we'll see, they address a lot of these. So stand medium, now jump cancelable. So that is huge. Now we need to know if is jump cancelable hit only or block or is it on block.
If it's jump cancelable on block, that might be a bit much.
Well,
I don't
no,
know.
not really. Maybe I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so either.
Has jump cancelable normals.
It would fit Tempelritter though.
Yeah, like her only jump cancelable normals before were jumping light and jump medium.
They're gonna
And
make a
that
fucking
was-
Blaze Blue character out of this character. Like, jeez.
Yeah.
It would make like
It
makes
means she
sense
has a
for it to
real
be-
high-low mix-up between jump 5B, jump down heavy, and sweep.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
And also, like, it give her a way to disengage pressure without having to play RPS. And maybe even some ways to reset pressure with, like, space dive kicks and such. But, as I said, we need to see if it's... Because her jump light and medium were jump cancel on block, and they don't specify it's hit only here, so I'm hoping it's on block. Because it would do so much for her pressure. It'd be great. And so I hope that's what the case is, but we'll see. 2B, startup reduction. That's great because it's her main anti-air. It was hard to use on reaction. Yeah, it's just like a pretty middling button. It's probably still not great, but this will help with this intended utility. Shisuri Tenbu. This was her best move by far in base, which is basically Ground Viper that led to a full combo on hit.
It's all right.
Yeah, and it low profiled hella. Like it went under like crouching jabs even. So it was a little silly, but she needed it. So they greatly adjusted the hurt box. I assume they made it so it doesn't like low profile everything now. And now just low profiles some things, but
Probably go under some fireballs, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Like it's still gonna be immensely rewarding when you hit it. But we'll see. Stand heavy, startup reduction. Thank God that button is ungodly amounts of slow in the base game. Same for sweep. It is stupidly slow in the base game. Now it's faster. That's great. Like, improve her buttons. She needs it. Her buttons are not great. And now we get into her specials. DP, Rocket Show's on. Light version launches the opponent higher. She might actually get a decent knockdown off it now. Which would actually be unique because most DPs do not do that. Although that was kind of like the main gimmick with her DP is that the medium and heavy versions gave her good Oki. They just are extra small. But now medium and heavy have a bigger forwards hitbox. So that might like solve the issue she had of her DP is tiny, so no one gives a shit about it. It could also mean, I don't think it is based on the wording, but it could also potentially mean the follow-ups, the automatic follow-ups she does on medium and heavy are bigger. hitbox wise, but I don't think that's the case. I hope it's not, anyways. Jump down attack button and Getsuzan used to be this command normal move where the different versions would go different distances, like light wouldn't cross up and medium and heavy would, and then all versions were an instant overhead. Now it's just jump down heavy, and it's now multi-hit. So
Scary.
I do not know what this is gonna look like, because I'm wondering, is this still gonna be cross up only? How is the multi-hit gonna work?
Scary.
Yeah. But that is interesting, to remove the other two versions. It's probably a buff overall, because you only use the move for like double overhead sus by doing like JB jump down button. But so it's not like you're missing much by losing it, although this does remove some of the Kara cancels she had with it, because she could Kara it into Fireball to like get like a jumping Fireball. But aside from that, like, I think this is probably a buff. It's just a little hard to say when you can't actually see the move, you know. Then Shinkuzan, Air Fireball, startup reductions. Can't go wrong with that. Faster Fireball. Meshinzan, Dive Kick. Hitboxes were adjusted. Probably works more consistently, I guess. Maybe it's maybe it's bigger. That'd be nice.
It usually didn't seem like a super useful move most of the time.
It is mainly for combos, yeah. Combos and block strings.
Maybe this makes it more consistent. I don't know.
Yep, that's what I hope. And then level 3, hitbox was adjusted to be larger. This move had consistency issues, so that's probably just fixing those. And same for Constant Shinsatsu, adjusted to hit more consistently. It dropped all the time. Now it probably doesn't. So yeah, great changes for Tempelritter. She's probably a viable character now.
Good job.
Yeah.
You finally made it. It only took
10 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Got that Monster Hunter World clip of it only took 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame Softball Style, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, I'm
Can't
glad.
really blame.
Yeah, I'm glad she's good, though. Or seems like she's going to be good. We don't know. But these buffs is a great start. Considering how bad she was in EN-Eins. She's like bottom 3 character. Borderline non-functional. Yeah, she's the only new character who wasn't top tier. Is such a shame.
Unless you count Anonym Guard.
Yeah, speaking of Anonym Guard, second biggest change list next to Tempelritter, and fittingly both are at the end. Anonym Guard, this character is garbage in base EN-Eins. She's just Anonym, but worse in every way.
I feel like we can't get through these patch notes without first talking about bringing up the system projectile change.
Yeah, like yeah, because
attenuation of projectiles now. They will do slightly more damage the further. Well, sorry, they reverted a nerf where they would deal less damage the further they traveled. So. It is a buff for Anonym Guard specifically. She is heavy on chip-based zoning.
Yep. And it was because Anonym Guard, her concept is, okay, Anonym is been top tier for two games and is clearly like not okay. Let's change her design completely and make her more melee focused. So they changed how her projectiles work pretty heavily and gave her more melee moves. That did not work out at all. So So what we're seeing here now is with the zoning changes, hopefully her chip in zoning is a bit more threatening now, but she got some nice changes to her close range game and some neutral stuff. So 5B, which is kind of like a gun swing, the hurt box is smaller, so it's probably harder to counter poke now. That's nice because it has a lot of recovery for a stand medium, so making it hard to counter poke is like kind of makes up for it. 2B chain 2, which is gonna be the ender, is gonna be startup reduction. Just guess it's easier to confirm. 5C, I do not know what this means, but 5C in this game is her 4C in older games where she does a hop flip kick. Increased buoyancy. So there's two things that this could mean. One, she jumps up higher. Two, the opponent gets launched higher.
I think it's probably the latter.
Yeah, but it's like I don't think this is a particularly relevant change. Maybe anti-air is better, but yeah, 2C.
Maybe she gets more of it. Maybe.
No, they didn't decrease the recovery, so no, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Sweep, which is for her a slide, now can side switch, which I assume means like if you hit it up close, then she'll go past the opponent instead of just staying on the same side. Like specifically when you hit it, of course. That's nice, I guess. It's probably not too relevant. Ignis, forward heavy. This is upwards gunshot. Various hitboxes were greatly adjusted. I guess they adjusted the bullet hitbox to be bigger or something.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's kind of all I'm getting from that. Crux, which is shoot the bullets in the ceiling. EX version has more invincibility. Maybe, actually, that's pretty interesting because now that'd give her 3 reversals. Because she has 236 BC, 214 BC, and now presumably 22 BC, all as reversal options.
And I should mention, this will make it a true reversal now.
Yeah. So that's definitely nice. Like, can't go wrong with having an additional reversal, especially one like that's gonna cover angles your other reversals don't. Because 22 BC is like a really weird move that you kind of don't use much. So having it be a reversal, although maybe as like an anti-air reversal, a little hard to say. Like, I'm not entirely sure where you'd apply this. Like, it of course doesn't hurt to have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Trinitas. This is her main gunshot move. On medium version, the projectiles appear earlier, but even bigger, it now wall sticks on hit. It did not used to do this.
An interesting one.
Yeah, so that potentially means she could get like a full screen second bullet shot into a reload after you hit this, which would be nice. Potentially also maybe you have a combo route into it now. I don't know if they give that to her, but maybe. Like, that's definitely a buff, and it means like makes it a lot scarier to get hit by. But I think the bigger change here is 236C. And if you're only familiar with Offsosh version of this move, it's basically the same, except instead of shooting the bullets vertical, she shoots them horizontal, just like the medium version, but it still has the backdash back at the start. So that backdash now has invincibility, which means she has albeit a little non-traditional, she now has a invincible reversal, meterless. And now it wall sticked already in base EN-Eins, but I assume it launches farther when they say it launches in wall sticks. So that's a very nice change, actually, because her backdash is already pretty good, but now you can mix it up with 236C on wake up.
Right, which is the same animation.
Yeah, that's actually like a really big deal. Like, very nice. So yeah, like actual reversal, meterless reversal on the zone. Actually, Perfecti has one too, so it's only fair. All right. And Angelus, this is the hop into jumping bullets. Adjustments to the jump portion. I do not know what this means. It could mean a number of things. Maybe it's faster. Maybe the angles are different. Who knows? It's just kind of hard to say based on this description. And similarly with Aerial Angelus, the change translated as faster onset, and I had not seen the term onset up to this point, so I do not know what it means in this context. Like, it could mean the projectile appears earlier. Maybe it means like maybe the landing recovery is different. I don't know. Like, it could mean a number of things for this move. The thing we can't parse, though, is increased chip damage, which is always nice. Can't go wrong with more chip.
It's just a straight buff. We can understand that much.
Yeah. And Cruciata, level 3, formerly the worst level 3 in ABK history, adjusted to hit more consistently. This presumably means it doesn't fuck up and not combo when you juggle into it, because if you juggled into it in EN-Eins, it would just drop. Like, always.
Just awful. Just a terrible super.
Yeah. So presumably they fixed that, and now it works like an actual move.
We'll see.
Which would give it some utility, because it's like one of her only ways to get like big damage. So she'd definitely appreciate it. But yeah, like, the Anonym Guard changes, these are definitely good changes. And some of them are really interesting, especially the Trinitas changes. But I also am thinking along the lines of, this character was really bad. Like, same as Blitztank. Like, these characters both got buffs. They're definitely meaningful. But is this enough for this character? Because these were bad characters.
Yeah, Tempelritter and Anonym especially.
Yeah.
I think in EN-Eins it's funny because Tank is definitely better than those two, at least.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that.
I think the Tank is just actually better than those two.
I disagree.
I think Blitztank can never truly be a very strong character just because his hurt box restricts him too much. There are so many unique mix-ups on Blitztank specifically that screw him over so hard on defense most of the time, to the point where you have to give him a meterless reversal that is fully invulnerable and also plus on block. Otherwise, he gets put into looping 50-50 high-lows against Murakumo in the corner, and you can't really do much about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is like the only character in the game that will get hit by rising jumping attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, good luck playing around the rising JC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess Perfecti doesn't have hers as an overhead anymore, right?
No.
So it's
Only
every
on
other
fuzzies.
character that he has to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like it. Yeah, that was actually the end of the patch notes. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting though. Like, definitely some unique changes here, and I think, but some of these are way more impactful for some characters than others. Thinking But we also are just going to have to wait and see how some of these play out, too, in the actual game. And also, we just don't know what some of these changes are because of a shoddy translation.
Yeah, I need to figure out what the hell are the
contacts with some people and see if I can translate some of the more important notes.
Yeah, and
yeah, especially the whatever passive fireballs and whatnot.
Yeah, the change to be non-passive. Like, oh my god, there's no way you just gave Murakumo air actions after his light up kicks. That would be absurd. There's no way you did that, right?
Yeah.
But I suppose we'll find out.
Right? And
right?
so
There's no way that Akatsuki can now do air actions or like block after be fireball in the air, right?
Yeah.
Tempelritter just slowly looks at you, slowly turns his head at you.
Like, don't get me wrong, that would be an absurd buff for both characters, and would like easily skyrocket Murakumo into like unquestionably top 2.
Yeah. So I did have one more thing I wanted to talk about before we stop the stream, which is Inazuma.
Inazuma, he's in the game now.
Yeah.
We already went over that. It's in the patch notes.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a bit about his move list because we have that available and we have the small screenshots we have, and also like just like compare it maybe a little to his prototype that we've had a bit of time with. Because there are some interesting changes, and there's also some things that are a little hard to discern on the move list. But presumably he's pretty similar. So, yeah, he has a forward heavy, which is Kabuto Wari, which is or forward medium, which is the same name as Akatsuki's overhead. So, which is pretty interesting because in his prototype, his forward medium was this weird step kick. And that seems to just have been removed entirely in favor of an overhead, which is great.
Maybe it's Akatsuki's old overhead, vanilla overhead.
Yeah, it is the same names. So that's what I was wondering a little. Like, is he gonna use his leg? But is it gonna who knows? And then his jumping down heavy also has the same name as Akatsuki's dive kick, but just based on the prototype, his dive kick was really different. Like, it was this big near full screen going super unsafe on block dive kick, like almost opposite in function of Akatsuki's. I'm wondering, like, is the dive kick like changed? Is it the same? We don't know. And then but then like the actual meat of the moveset is special moves. Look pretty. Just like looking at what they are in the move list, looks pretty similar to what they were in the prototype. Cause let me pull out my translator real quick. I did have them translated, but not anymore. Let's see here. Yeah, he has chin split as a light, which is the same name as Akatsuki's overhead. In prototype, this was literally a wind god fist, where if you just framed it, it would get an electric and launch them into the air.
Maybe they kept that.
We'll see. I really hope they kept that.
Yeah, I really do hope they kept that. It was so... I love, like, electrics in general.
Yeah.
So...
he has double sweeper, which is the medium out of misstep. It was a low, and it sounds like it still is a low. The interesting thing about it in prototype is that it was just one low, but if you pressed it again, he would do a second, so that you could stagger for a pretty long period of time. And just based off the name, it sounds like it still does that, because it's double sweeper. But it's also possible it's just two lows immediately, like a soldat, because the inputs do not list it as like additional input, but yeah. And then lastly we have see, that did not translate correctly. See here. Lastly, we have Cursed Armored Fist. That does not sound like a correct translation, but it is the heavy out of his misstep. And it actually sounds pretty different just fundamentally from how it was in the Prototype, because in Prototype is just the last 2 hits of Akatsuki's heavy Tatsu. And now it's apparently a fist move that's armored. So I'm assuming it's going to be overhead out of it, because it's a misstep, so you got to get the mix-up. So like a slower overhead maybe. That's the assumption. Sounds interesting though. And then 214X out of misstep is back misstep anyways, is Armored Fist. Which of course is in contrast to Akatsuki's Armored Piercing Kick. That's great. We have Armored Fist versus Armored Piercing Kick. And light, medium, heavy. And then we just got anti-aircraft lightning bullet. Sounds like it's similar to Prototype, where he does a DP that also shoots a anti-air projectile. So then, and actually, but what I found pretty interesting about his supers, in that the forward misstep super is special attack flying lightning kick. So it's not like an EX version of any of the existing moves. It's a kick, and it's a flying kick, and that
sounds like you got a rider kick.
Yeah. It sounds rad as hell. Then the other 2 are just special versions of the existing moves. And then we get to his level 3 and Kanzen Shitsatsu, where he can do a bit more theory crafting. The level 3 is ultra high voltage optical turning kick.
Okay. That's a mouthful.
So the awesome thing about Prototype Inazuma is that his level 3 was a frame 1 to frame 1 through active frames armored move that would blast through anything and have him do this rider kick.
This couldn't possibly be the motorcycle, could it?
Well, that's what I think the Kanzen Shinsatsu is, actually, because that is called, let me get the proper translation because it didn't go through right, because it is called electromagnetic projection gun.
That's probably the motorcycle then, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, they could probably be both the motorcycles. Honest, that's also an option. They could
the level 3 the level 3 is called a turning kick. I don't think it's
Well,
you
turn
yeah.
the motorcycle and then you
just kick him. It was right the motorcycle kick him, and the Kanae would just shoot him with the cannon and the motorcycle.
Yeah. It's just fun to think about, maybe he's gonna, these are some rad ass names, and so it'll be sick to see him pull out a motorcycle just to run you over a couple times, then jump off and it flies off screen or whatever.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see this character with actual sprites instead of just being a mix of Akatsuki and Adler.
He's real. Did they have a few soldat sprites too? On the mix.
There was one soldat sprite, there was one Adler sprite, and then a shit ton of Akatsuki sprites.
Yeah.
No, he's a real boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
everyone. It's a theme of Anastasis. It's like everyone just gets to be real now.
Yeah. Kinda. Yeah. Like, is honestly like I do feel like this is like arcs. I do feel like this feels like a Arxis mid-season strive patch. Like if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
I kind of understand. Yeah, just barely any changes. Some changes are kind of weird.
Some characters randomly get big changes. Well,
Yeah,
although in this case, like
the
there was a clear effort to buff the low tiers, but there are also some characters getting buffed to for no reason, and
I
most
don't
of the
know.
top tiers actually like wait, actually all of the top tiers except Psy were nerfed. Okay,
Murakumo didn't get nerfed.
he's not a top tier; he's a high
He's
tier.
he's he's up there.
He's like
he might
yeah.
be actually top tier now.
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
he's
yeah,
top
he
tier
probably
now.
is.
Yeah.
But I need to get in contact with someone to translate his human missile. I think is what it's translated to in English.
Or is human mortar?
Human mortar, whatever.
Yeah.
If non-passive means what we think it does, then
I don't think it means what you
this
think it
game's getting
means.
broken open.
No.
I mean I hope so. But like, what else does it mean?
I just think it's a recovery difference. Like it has less maybe it's like less recovery or something.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
there's no world where it means you're air active after.
I don't know. But what if?
Yeah, I don't want to think about
Because
that.
like it doesn't make any sense for Akatsuki to have the same wording on Air B Fireball because he's always like in recovery until he lands.
Well, maybe it's like less landing recovery.
That
Yeah.
I think they would specify that.
Well, maybe like saying non-passive is specifying.
I don't know. I'm pulling this up. Where's Murakumo?
Yeah.
There he is. There's human mortar.
Maybe not. Maybe not passive just means like you can steer the character, sorta. That's just while landing, kind of like soldat air soldat, sorta.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like really weird.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for just throwing things out there, really.
Yeah. Well.
But it would make more sense, but it would be a really weird change. With the wording, it would make more sense, but it still would be kind of a weird change to make in general. It's just, why would you add this?
Yeah. Well.
Like basically every machine translation place that I put it into translates it as non-passive, which would mean that it's active, which I don't know because.
Can you give me like the original? Actually, let me.
It's on the Discord. If
I'll
you should
repost
pin
it. I'll repost it.
Yeah.
This is for Murakumo's human mortar, his up kicks. If you find out what this does, let me know.
Yeah. Let's see what I can get.
Yeah.
I'll send some pings around.
Wait, non-body what? Okay, let's non-body. Change no erosion. Okay, no wait. Actually,
No erosion.
I just changed the non-body is scraped and deleted. What? No, this is even getting worse.
Amazing. Yeah, like oh yeah, it's also on Blitztank's EX laser change, which is
Okay.
not an airborne move.
Okay, after messing with it, I get unrecoverable. It sort of makes more sense, but isn't it already? I don't know.
I don't know. I sent a message over to my friends who knows Japanese, and he's away right now. I probably won't get a response immediately, but
Yeah. Okay. So, like after messing around, like DeepL gives me non-passive and a lot of stuff. But
it
after
says
messing around,
non-passive. But what does that mean?
Google Translate actually
the terminology does not exist inside my head.
actually like messing around with it a bit and putting the whole entire sentence on Google Translate gives you change the gun, obviously human mortar, change the gun to non-recoverable, and then says deleted it, which just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it says and removed. It's like that's not what it means. It wasn't
Maybe
removed. It's still there.
Yeah. I just
I don't know.
It's a mystery that will probably not be
Yeah.
solved on the stream.
The wording is just.
I guess I'll just let you guys know when I get a response back.
All right.
I actually was edited with someone who actually knew Japanese. If I knew were there, would have
It
asked
could
like that.
potentially be the largest changes to characters outside of Katie no longer being able to dash block, but we don't know.
I was actually with that guy. Somehow I felt like a Sega PRS cab that worked in Portugal, so I was getting like all the games from Sega's online system in arcades. Like even at Strive there. But I got Uniclear, and I was like doing Akatsuki stuff, and it was like, hey, can you translate what the hell the options do? He's just asking the guy the trading options. And then, I just wanted you basically to did some things and then just did the Lost Super, and then that was a fun time. But I could have asked him if I knew earlier. I was just too busy there to actually look at the channel. I just looked at it, and the Discord just everyone just arguing about I'm not arguing, but talking about the changes. Like, okay, I got a lot to read when I get home.
Yeah.
But I might ask him if you don't get an answer tomorrow. I could ask him as well.
Yeah.
Also, I know someone else also could help translate this. So
I mean, it's just it only appears on Akatsuki's Air Fireball, Murakumo's Human Mortar, Blitztank's EX Laser. Like, can he move during EX Laser? There's no way. But what does it mean?
If he could move during EX Laser, that'd be hilarious. But
it changed to not what does that mean? I don't get it. I'm rattling my head over here trying to figure out what could you change?
I'm out of ideas as well. The only thing change to none. Oh, maybe actually. Actually, let me say. Change. So maybe it's saying that as deleted the non-recoverability of human mortar, which brings us back to you can act after it. I don't fucking know. I mean, it certainly looks like even with this, it's just I'm basically being you can. If you interpret it that way, it's definitely saying that you can act after.
But there's no way, right?
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
There's no way. Then we're all gonna watch footage of the
And you're just gonna start
Yeah.
seeing like Murakumo jumping around like it's KOF.
Yeah.
It's like now you've got a built-in anti-air that also
Resets pressure.
gives you a pressure reset, and like, oh no, maybe we shouldn't have given him this.
Yeah. But
Yeah, no. Also, Akatsuki doing air fireball and just.
I feel like that's
coming down.
normal.
Attacks.
that's
Yeah,
less
it's-
insane, you know.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
like
whatever.
it's
That's
just
an air
not really.
fireball. Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
The question that I have is like,
It's
what would it
about-
mean for Tank?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does he shoot a laser and then you can start like moving while the laser's shooting?
Maybe
I don't
EX
get
lasers
it.
plus on block now.
Yeah, I'm just.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
stumped.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, can you give me like the original for Akatsuki's and tanks, just so I can throw.
Tank's
Yeah,
was
yeah.
slightly
Yeah.
worded slightly differently. It's just the word passive also came up. So-
Let me find where it is for Akatsuki. It is the third patch note.
Honestly, you said, what if Murakumo was a KOF character? Now I can't just stop thinking of
Yeah.
Murakumo as a KOF
I mean, he
character.
kind of is already. He's got like 5D as his like hop aerial.
Yeah.
It's obviously not as good, but it's tuned for a way that works in this game. It's designed to beat sweeps cleanly.
Yep. Well, actually, I might turn off stream now though, because we are kind of just.
I got nothing more to say. It's just
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
don't know what quite possibly
Change-
the biggest changes will be here. So.
Change to unreceivable. Okay, now
Yeah.
give me.
So yeah, I think it's like if you tuned in, thanks for tuning in. If you're still listening through this, then you're even more admirable. So yeah, but yeah, it's great to go over the patch notes and Inazuma a little, and yeah, it's like
Oh wait! I think wait.
Hmm?
I think it might be also a weird way of saying it gives you a hard knockdown now. Because because okay, so I just spoke the one with Akatsuki. I just noticed that it says Ukemi Fukani Henko, and it was like Ukemi is basically now. Yeah.
So Ukemi is somehow getting translated as passive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it might be just gives you a hard knockdown.
Okay.
I think.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
So
I
no, we're
think-
not going to see Murakumo hopping around using.
Still good though. Like
It's
if it
still
is hard
good.
knockdown.
Yeah.
Getting hard knockdown is pretty substantial.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
Tank now gets hard. Actually, that means Tank has a consistent hard knockdown ender with meter.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like actually, he's actually gonna get set play. Holy shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
see.
Answers now. Okay, now we shut off stream. Right,
Now-
yeah.
now we should have-
Once again,
That's all
thanks for
Yeah,
thanks for
now we
listening
should.
in. If you did, it was great to go over this stuff. Good night, y'all who are still here. Have a good time.
You take care.
Good night.